put your hands together in welcoming to the stage John Saad, the CEO and Managing Director of Contact Financial Holding, and of course your moderator, Mousa, Senior Presenter at Forbes Middle East.
Hi Sally, how are you?
So good to see you, please.
Thank you.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. I can't hear you. Good afternoon, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It is so good to have you with us, and I know you've all had an amazing lunch and some fantastic conversations leading off from this morning. And this is a session that I'm very excited about and can't wait to dive into it. But before we do, I want to ask you, did you know that the UAE alone processed $150 billion in digital payments last year alone, while in Egypt, we're talking digital wallet transactions soaring by 80% in just 12 months. Absolutely incredible when you think about that. Across the region, these numbers are telling a bigger story of how technology is not only transforming finance, but also driving inclusion, opportunity, and sustainable growth. And so in this fireside chat, we're going to be exploring how financial innovation is becoming a true catalyst for empowerment, reshaping lives, communities, and the future of our economies. And to take us through all of that and more, I'm excited to have with me today John Saad, the CEO and Managing Director of Contact Financial Holding. He is a leader who is redefining consumer finance and championing sustainability across Egypt and the wider region. John,
Hi, Saad.
So good to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being with us. Now, consumer finance, of course, is a powerful catalyst for progress. So how is Contact then redefining access to finance to support individuals, businesses, and the broader goal of financial inclusion in Egypt?
So if we zoom back and look at a country like Egypt, more than 100 million live in Egypt, and the ones that have access to finance are probably less than single digit, few millions of people. And therefore the opportunity to provide financing to much bigger base is huge. And the only way to do that is actually through digital, because it's almost impossible to be able to provide these financial services to this entire number of people through the traditional financing ways. In addition to that, with the growth of P2P transactions and growth of wallets in the last few years, and therefore more consumers have access to digital financial services in terms of savings or wallets, that gives us a great opportunity in terms of the amount of data we have access to. And therefore, using this data and having the right digital platforms, we're able to serve more and more consumers in the coming period through whether financial consumer financing services or insurance services that we currently have. But the exciting part that we're looking forward to is to be able to serve millions of customers, tens of millions of customers, through digital platforms. Yesterday we just signed an agreement at GITEX with eAnd, where we're going to provide a lot of our services on their platforms. So therefore combining their muscles of access to customers through digital channels and our financing muscles together to be able to provide the services to a larger and wider number of audience. I think there's a lot that can happen in this area in the coming few years.
Congratulations on that partnership that you have just signed with eAnd, but it really points to the importance of partnerships in making sure that you do get that financial inclusion to more people in Egypt. Like you said, it's such a small fraction right now. The opportunities are huge. So how do you see partnerships like that really transforming finance in Egypt and fintech more specifically? But also, what opportunities are AI and data presenting for you? What can you do with that?
Okay, so in the last 2 years specifically, the evolution of AI and where it has reached and where it will evolve in the coming few years, I think is beyond anyone's imagination what will happen in the next few years. Hence, using that to process billions of records of data, which is what we have today in Egypt, is going to be much easier, much faster, much more accurate than it used to be before. In addition to that, having access to that data, to the digital data, is also growing in the coming period. For the amount of data that we have access to be able to understand our customers better, and the engines and the models we have to be able to process this data, the last thing is, how do we actually action this data and take it forward? And that's what the digital platforms that we're out to build. Hence, the formula is coming together. The formula is coming together for a country like Egypt very well. I think actually it's a great opportunity to leapfrog other markets, other countries with that system. I mean, the ecosystem that's actually being put in place now. And I think there's great. We're not just doing it alone. There's great support from the regulation, the central bank. There's a lot of support and a lot of top-down support to make sure that the financial inclusion and the digital penetration of financial services in the country in the coming period grows dramatically. I think that is a very exciting opportunity and one of the very strong partnerships that we've done that actually will enable a lot in the coming period.
And creating that ecosystem that you need to be able to serve as much of the segment of the population as possible. Something we were talking about backstage is you seeing a need for a change in mindset to really get to those goals. Talk to us a bit more about that. What does that look like and what can it unlock? So a story that's very close to my heart, and I don't know who from the audience knows about Mohammed Yunus from Grameen Bank. Yes. You guys know about him? Yeah? He started out in 1976, much earlier than all of us, or most of us even existed. But anyways, so Mohammed Yunus did a great job. He built the bank for the poor, and he built an amazing concept. When he started out, it was a test. So he went started with 50 people or 20 people, and then made tested with 500 people, and took the test results of lending those people and having them pay back, took it to the banks and talked to the banks and told them, look, I lent some poor people and here's how they paid back. And the banks were like, la, we don't think so, we don't agree, or we're not convinced. That was just mindset at the time. And then when he got fed up, Mohammed Yunus, he went on and did his bank, which is Grameen Bank today, which is one of the biggest banks in Bangladesh. And basically what he's done is amazing. He lends only to the poor. It's all about micro credit, very small amounts. And more than 90% of his customers are women. So the amount of social impact he's managed to do is amazing. The amount of access to almost 10 million people who never had access to financing, he managed to do that. But if he had the traditional mindset of the banks in Bangladesh at the time, he wouldn't have moved forward. And that's exactly where he challenged the status quo and tried something, moved ahead with it. I'm sure there was loads of learnings along the way, and until he got the Nobel Prize in 2006. So a great success story and a great man, just because he had a different mindset than everyone else there. Absolutely, and it's such a great example of going to the customer, starting where they're at and seeing the opportunities there and taking it forward, which is what you're doing as well. I know that we have 30 seconds, but I'm going to ask the question anyway, because women's empowerment has become one of Contact's strongest commitments as well. Talk to us about, very quickly, some of the tangible steps that you're taking to make sure that women are included here as well.
So I've started in Contact 6 months ago, okay? In the last 6 months, I think on my direct reports, women on the team in my direct reports increased by 300%. Okay?
Amazing.
So we're already starting the journey inside Contact. How can we ensure women are given the right opportunities? I've always worked with a lot of women. I think they're very detailed and sometimes they're better than men. Sorry, the gentlemen in the room, I include myself. But I think just enabling the right opportunities inside, starting with the company itself, is extremely important to be able to ensure that once we move out, we're actually also creating the right opportunities for our customers. On our customer side, we're actually looking at a lot of, in terms of customers that we provide financing for. The dominant majority today are males. Now, we're always looking into how can we actually move more towards females. And one of the things about digital and data is that using AI, hopefully we can be a bit more neutral in terms of the biases we use when we actually assess risks with the parameters we use today for men.
Especially as women are the ones who spend. They're the ones often looking after the money.
Exactly.
And sadly, we have to end it there, but what a fantastic way to start the afternoon. And I feel like, John, you're just getting started with Contact. It's a very exciting journey. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking John Saad.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely fantastic.